So this time around, I've got something completely different. Too far. So the car I'm spending some time with today is a 2015 Kia Soul, specifically the Red Zone Special Edition. Now, most people who know me will tell you that I don't have a very high opinion of the Korean brands. However, I see a ton of these on the road. A lot more than, say, of Elantras and Fortes and the like, of similar vintage or older. I figured I would broaden my horizons and have a look at one of these boxy things. Generally speaking, I don't hear a lot of bad things about these cars, and like I said, I see a lot of them on the road, so I'm definitely excited to give it a try and see what it's all about. Will it be a K-pop banger, or will it leave me feeling like a galaxy just blew up in my face? From the outside, you can definitely tell that this is a special edition compared to a regular Soul. It's got the lip kit, it's got the big wheels, the spoiler, and all that. But the car as a whole, I'm not really a fan of these boxy MPV wagon tall car things, whatever segment that this thing falls into. Power comes from a 2-liter direct injection, as it turns out. 4-cylinder, double overhead cam, whatever. If you want to know all the specs, look it up. It makes the same amount of power that any normally aspirated 2-liter engine makes these days, just north of 150 horsepower and torque. And that power is backed up by a 6-speed automatic with the non-enthusiast backwards manual mode. Manufacturers, please stop this counterintuitive bullshit. It's definitely a special edition, cuz it's got a special stereo system. There are speakers everywhere, so that's definitely cool, especially if you like your phone connectivity stuff. I don't know if it's got all that stuff. It's got Bluetooth, Sirius, and I'm literally just reading that off of there. It's of course got sat-nav. If you want to know what it's got as far as infotainment, look it up. It's got the Bluetooth, it's got steering wheel audio controls, cruise control, of course. It does have the gimmicky Eco button, so you can put it in Eco mode. It's got all the stuff you would expect from a pretty nice car. One cool feature I like about it, though, is this goes all the way back. Full glass roof, that's actually pretty cool. But it's a hot day, so I'm just gonna close that. It's got multiple drive modes, oddly enough. Normal, Sport, and Comfort, which, as far as I can tell, change the throttle mapping. There's no suspension damping or anything like that. It's got the backwards manual mode, so I can't imagine that those make a whole lot of difference. Oh yeah, automatic headlights, intermittent wipers. Yeah, that's a real luxury, the intermittent wipers. I wish my car had that. What about the glove box? Like, this is a New York apartment, this glove box. Wow. Charge $1,000 a month in rent and you can pay this thing off real quick. This is where this car really shines. Oh yeah. Back seat's really the place to be in this car. There's plenty of room to stretch out. The floor here is flat, so if you have a center seat passenger, they're not sitting on, well, an exhaust tunnel. Look at this. This is awesome. If I got this as an Uber or a Lyft, depending on what service you use, I'd be stoked. This is a perfect car to use for a ride share or ride hailing service. How about the cargo area? Oh, wild umbrella. There's enough room for your groceries, there's a nice cargo net, and if you were traveling, some small duffel bags or one large suitcase would probably fit back here. I don't know what the cubic footage is. If you want to know that, look it up. Alright, let's drive this thing. You already know what's going on. Put it in sport mode. I'm not even going to mess with the manual mode, because even when you put it in manual mode, it upshifts for you. Which, that's really lame. Alright, let's see. It's definitely got a willing engine, and it put me back in my seat a little bit. I don't know how much these things weigh, but, you know, the engine moves it. It's enough. See? I say I see these on the road, there's another one right there in front of me. And the downshifts aren't rev matched. When I put it into the manual mode, the backwards manual mode, I still can't get over that. We pull back to downshift, it just drags the converter, slings you forward. Yeah, see? I didn't even get to shift, it did it for me. So much for that manual mode. But it gets to 60 pretty quick. Of course, everything feels like a rocket ship when you drive a car as slow as mine. How about chassis dynamics in the corners? Yeah, the cornering's pretty flat and decent for a car that's this tall and, I imagine, pretty heavy. Though, it doesn't feel heavy when I'm driving it. As an enthusiast, this thing is definitely a penalty box. The transmission's kind of here or there. When it's in D, some of the shifts are crisp and confident, and other times they're lethargic and slushy. The engine, though, I was very surprised by, especially from a dig. That thing's willing, and it put me back in my seat. I was very surprised. It rides pretty well, but definitely not an enthusiast car by any means. These seats are pretty comfortable too. Of course, no lateral support whatsoever, but then again, not an enthusiast car, but I bet on a road trip these wouldn't be too bad. Especially back there. So what kind of impression has the Soul left on me? Well, it's definitely not a driver's car, but I didn't expect it to be. I just had to see it from a driver's perspective, and now that I have, I can roundly say that if you're looking for something sporty, this ain't it. However, it's got a lot of appeal from a daily driver's perspective. This is a great A to B, like, high school kid's car. If I had something like this in high school, I'd have been set. It's got all these cool bells and whistles, and they're all packaged in a really nice way. And I think that therein lies the success of this car. It's got a lot of features that most people generally like, and they're presented in a nice way. It's got the big glass roof, it's got the special stereo and infotainment stuff, and hell, it's got the eco button. People love hitting buttons these days. They like a lot of things that they can play with, and they like features, and this car is definitely heavily laden with features. It's all hard plastic and vinyl, but then again, so is my car. It's inexpensive, and that's the point. Well, I'm all out of words about the Kia Soul. I truly am an idiot, and I can't segue out of my own video. I have literally done dozens of takes trying to end this, but I will say that on the Kia Soul, after spending some time with it and driving it, I am genuinely impressed. I don't want one for myself, but I can see why so many people buy these things. So, if you're shopping for a good daily driver or a first car for your kid, maybe this is one to look at, because there are worse places they could be. Anyway, it's really hot. I'm getting the hell out of here. So, I hope you guys have enjoyed this one. Thank you so much for watching and subscribing, and I'll see you guys in the next one. This is after the video is over. I'm back in my car, and there goes another one.